Hello, welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. I want to talk about something unusual, about taking a concept that is fairly standard, fairly common, fairly relatable, and turning it into something different in the context of your D&D and or other fantasy role-playing games. There might be some spoilers here for a game I'm currently running for the Warriors of Wednesday. So Warriors all, if you're not that interested in it, it's not a huge spoiler. It's not a big reveal that I'm going to wreck and will come as a surprise to almost no one at this point in time. But I'm throwing it out here just in case. Concepts occur to me while I am in every aspect of the role-playing game process, playing or running or writing or getting ready to run all my prep. I had a character from one of the first games I played with the layer action, Stefan Hofstetter. We were playing games where everyone's playing a rogue, and I like me a swashbuckler. Swashbucklers are a really good subclass for rogue. And so I dug into my history of literary characters, swashbucklers. Who strikes me as a swashbuckling character? Well, the Scarlet Pimpernel, classic swashbuckler. Zorro, another classic swashbuckler. What do they have in common? They're nobles who must hide their noble identity in order to strike fear into the nobles who are using their position for evil. Stefan Hofstetter, the Black Rose. That meant I had to give him the noble background. And once that happened, I really leaned into it. Both Zorro and the Scarlet Pimpernel had their day-to-day persona, the Bruce Wayne to their Batman. Had these personalities. They downplayed any of their own ability to do things. If you don't think that person could lift a sword and fight you, you're probably not going to think too much of them. And you're certainly not going to conflate them with that vigilante out at night stabbing people right and left. So Stefan had this absolutely egregious and aggravating personality. He leaned into the nobility and more. He leaned into his wealth quite a bit. Not that he had much of it with him. They're shipwreck victims, but he was wearing 15,000 gold worth of boots. Just his boots. Worked this out with the DM ahead of time, but he was wearing a fantastic amount of wealth. And, well, it got to his head, and through his head got to mine. The other characters in the party did not have nearly that level of wealth, and one of them had come from poverty. And they had these constant back and forths between, how things are when you're wealthy and how things are when you're over there doing things that not rich people do. What do you do again? And it was funny and engaging. And over time, Stefan stayed the good-hearted soul that he always was, sneaking out at night to do battle against the evil deeds of the other nobles and his own family. And things, I could talk about things that were normal for Stefan in such a way that everyone else would just look at him and, you sit down at that long table with 126 chairs at it. There's only 4 of you there, and you have to shout to be heard, but at least the turkey's very good. We had a turkey every other night when it wasn't an entire suckling pig. Why are you all looking at me like that? Where it got funny, where it got truly entertaining, for me at least, was these other things sneaking in where Stefan just, this is how things are for rich people, Oh, and you know that rich people thing? Well, you probably don't, but it's that thing where on every full moon, 13 people wearing dark robes come into your room with knives and chant for a little while. You know, the chanting dark robe people. Oh, man, it was a little creepy at first, but every so often I couldn't sleep through a full moon without it. It is like rain on a tin roof. So they say. I've never slept under a tin roof, but I hear it's very relaxing. And the looks that I would get when people were like trying to wait, to go back to the 13 people in dark robes. That just kept going until the campaign was altered because, Stefan had some idea how some rituals go. Well, when you do these things, you do this because you don't cut your hand open and put the blood onto dark artifacts. What the hell? It's like, no, that's just Tuesday back home. Do you not do that? And Stefan's family started to become much, much more interesting because you were seeing all of these things about them through the lens of someone who had never known anything different and did not understand that they were a bad thing. The climax of Stefan's character arc was when he just stopped for a second and said, "My family's evil, aren't they?" Another dungeon master, hearing about this and becoming familiar with the characters, asked me if I could write up a little bit about the family so we could use the family as a set of villains. And that kind of sparked something. Yeah. Yeah, you can use that family as a set of villains. Family Hofstadter has shown up in some of my campaigns and some other people's campaigns as this villain family. But it's not just that they're the nobles with dark intent. That would have been way, way too plebeian. No, I need something new, something even worse. So we know from Stefan's conjecture and the stories about that there's some kind of ritual, maybe diabolism going on. And no, the family Hofstadter are not run by diabolists. Because when the family talks to demons, it's the demons who have come to them. The family Hofstadter are pecunamancers. No, that's not a phrase you've probably heard before. Because I came up with the phrase by doing my usual thing of mixing linguistic bases and throwing them together until I had a word that I liked. Because I believe mancer is technically is English, really. It's a suffix that denotes that as a type of magic user or a type of divine or a type of magic user. So a necromancer, the magic of death, or someone who uses the magic of death. But necros is a Greek base, and I did not like the Greek term for money, but I like the Latin term pecunia for money itself. So pecunamencer, a wizard or a person who studies and utilizes the power and the magic of wealth itself. But Scott, that's not magic. No, I don't know. I don't know, straw man. I think maybe it is. And certainly in certain contexts, what if someone studied it as if it were? And there are people who study money as if it is magic, or as if they follow it with that particular single purposeness of mind you would normally attribute to a wizard, someone who sits down and has their book, their spell book, into which they draw forth their knowledge and their power and their ability to alter the reality around them, including the attitudes and perhaps even actions of others. A wizard, seeing a guard arrest the rogue in their party, might just use something like suggestion or charm. Well, I see you've caught that rogue, officer. Good job, but that's not the rogue that you're looking for. You don't need to see our papers. You can go about your business. move along. That usually gets, and that can get the rogue free if the guard does not resist. Guard probably doesn't want to release the rogue. That's not going to be good for them. But ultimately, if the guard does not fail or does not succeed at their save, yeah, rogue's going free. How does Pecunimancer handle this? Officer, I see you've caught that vagabond. Very well done. I must congratulate. Let me personally congratulate you. I know this probably isn't by regulations, but I've got 2,000 gold sitting in this pouch right here that's not going anywhere. I was going to go do something mad with it later. Why don't you take it? That's 2,000 gold. It's nothing, really. And you know what? Let me take the rogue off your hands. Let me just take the rogue off your hands so you don't need to deal with that. I've got this taken care of. Did I say 2,000 gold? I might have 3,000 gold in my pouch that you can use to further your career and whatnot. And maybe, is there a missus? Oh, you look like the type. Did I say 3,000? Why don't I give you 5,000 gold right here? And you can take the missus out on a nice vacation someplace, and I'll take the rogue off your hands. You don't need to be worried about something like that. You're a person with money now, aren't you? And the guard might save. But the guard suddenly has a vested interest in not saving. Are you trying to bribe me, sir? No, I'm not trying to bribe you. Did I say 5,000? And well, Scott, that's just throwing your money around. Yeah, and casting suggestion is just throwing your magic around. The wizard draws from his spellbook. The Pecunimancer draws from that pouch, from their bank accounts, from their investments across the kingdom. A wizard would kill to have points of power all across a kingdom. A Pecunimancer, the kingdom provides him with a banking system in order to keep their... A Pecunimancer does not want to be royalty. They do not care about the ability to create the wealth by fiat. A king or a queen can simply declare, well, we're going to print more coin. We're going to make more money happen. A Pecunimancer would consider that cheating. No, we're going to take the money we already have. You are going to print more money. I'm going to take this 10 gold. I'm going to go turn it into 50,000 gold. And then you won't need to print any more money because I'll have 50,000 gold. The Pecunimancer causes gold to multiply almost into pockets. They can cover themselves in wealth if they so chose, but they probably don't because that alters how people around them act. They might. I need every eye to be on me. And I can make every eye in this city, and let's say the square, the square in front of the city hall. I need every eye on me. I can do that with 2 handfuls of silver. I can throw that for less than the price of a good sword. I can have everyone's attention because you throw that much silver. After people scrape it up, they're going to be wondering if you're going to throw any more. And now you've got their ears. You want the city to love you? Save the orphanage. Want the city to hate you? Buy the orphanage and burn it down. It's not illegal. It's my property. Oh, I don't know where the orphans went. They weren't really a part of it. Was there something there? It's my property. I had the right to clear it out. So your Pecunimancer is probably a villain. And that's because that's what we associate that kind of behavior and that kind of attitude with. That's probably the person who's throwing their weight around cash-wise. Why do demons talk to Pecunimancers? Because demons ain't got no gold. Demon demon prince wants to stage a campaign on the prime material plane. He wants to do it subtly. He wants to have some certain amount of control over how the people he attracts. He can get out there and start throwing magic and having his minions grab people and torture them into compliance. Or the demon could go to could have his minions go and scour the plains for treasure and gold and gather it into one place. And then he can go and try to throw it at people. But he is a demon after all, and there's going to be a couple of issues there. Or you can go to Bakunamancer. Like, I have a certain amount of political power in the Nether. And you have a certain amount of financial power here. I require financial power here. What kind of deal can we work out? Because the demon can cut so many corners by just having someone there bankrolling them. And then you don't attract all the paladins and clerics immediately because you're sending demons everywhere. You don't need a demon. It's like, well, any given city in the kingdom is going to have a couple of hundred people who will do your bidding because you filled their belly and gave them a warm, safe place to sleep. That's just a few silver. Would you like to make some money? Would you like to make enough money to feed you and your family? Would you like to sleep someplace safe tonight? I just need you to go and tell some people about these things. I just need you to do a little work for me. Help me take this area. Help me build up this part of the city. You know, that stuff underground that everyone is trying to stay away from. I want you to help me clean that up. And I'll pay you well. And if you happen to see some people getting brought through, well, you didn't see anything, did you? Because I'll pay you more if you didn't. And now you've got this army of minions and people working in the background who, they're not evil. They're just getting a paycheck. And now your operation's a lot harder for the forces of good to find or even interfere with. I was just paying the downtrodden a decent wage for decent work. What, do you have a problem with that? Maybe you should have taken care of the poor before I came in to deal with it. And you beat up the demon. Sure, you beat the demon up. You track the demon back. Eventually, it's going to be tricky. Those of them who knew they were working for a demon and just didn't care because they're getting paid that much, I can lead you back to that demon. The party can beat the demon up and send them back to hell and everything's fine. And well, are they even going to ask where they got the money? What's a demon? Demons get money. Do they? Coulda. Didn't go through a regular thing for getting the money. And oh, look, here's another demon. The first demon gets back to the abyss. Hey, talk to this guy. I got a banker on the prime material. You talk to this guy, he'll hook you up. It might be 8 or 9 demons before the party gets the idea. Wait a second. Where are they all getting the money? Bakunamancer's not doing anything wrong. Hey, I happen to have a pretty good arrangement with some folks and they needed some cash and I worked out a couple of deals. Real estate deals. I own a couple of properties in the Nine Hells. They're rental properties, but ain't pretty good. And you beat up the banker? Well, you're associating with demons. It's all associated. If Celestials came to me, I'd deal with them as well. Do you know any Celestials who need cash? Do you need any cash? Is there a temple that needs to be built someplace? I'm sure we can work something out. Bakunamancer's rarely engage in violence themselves. They have armies of their own private troops. They have access to, well, they've got guild access. Yeah, the merchants guilds and the wizards guilds. Here you go. Yeah, I'm a patron of the arts. Oh, you make the finest weapons in town. You let me let me no just a donation to your guild. Here you go. You folks keep doing good work, and maybe for my donation, maybe I might need some people equipped with some good weaponry. You could hook them up, right? Oh, I would just like my people to have first choice. That's all. That's it. We'll pay. We'll be paying. We'll be paying good money for all of those, but I'd like first choice. That's all. But you have that relationship with the Blacksmiths Guild. You have that relationship with the Assassin's Guild. Maybe I need someone not to be here tomorrow, and I know that is very short notice, but I also know that you charge a surcharge for fast jobs, and well, here's your surcharge, and here's a little bit extra, and here's something for your guild master in case there's any difficulties. And well, I'll just go someplace else now and have myself a nice big steaming cup of alibi. You do whatever it is you have to do. Spend it well. You can get the Pacuna if you can prove the Pacunamancer hired an assassin, and if your assassin's guild is worth anything, you can't. But if you can prove the Pacunamancer hired an assassin, yeah, you got him on something. You rarely have grounds to go in and just stab the Pacunamancer. You got to drag him into justice. And the Pacunamancer's got the most expensive lawyer in the room, because of course he does. Well, I see that I must bend to the will of justice and the law. You do know who my lawyer is. Oh, that's fine. Oh no, they already know. They will meet me at the courthouse. This is fine. I understand. I understand you think you need to do this, and I do appreciate the skill with which you're doing it. But tomorrow I'm going to be walking free. Can you say the same thing? There's a certain amount of social interaction. It's very bard-like, I think. Pacunamancy might be a bard college now that I think about it, because there is a certain amount of persuasion and influence that goes alongside of it. Oh, that's Pacunamancy might be equivalent to a bard college of wealth. Oh, now I like that. Now I like that a lot more. I was kind of thinking, well, how do I justify this as a college of magic? Because it kind of isn't. I can't. There's some spells you might learn as a Pacunamancer, but you'd be much more apt to influence. Pacunamancy does require a certain amount of intelligence, but also a good amount of charisma. Yeah, Bard College. What do you perform? I perform charity. I perform financially. I'm a top performer, you might say. Here, have some cash and leave me alone. It's just another flavor of something that happens all the time. The family Hofstadter believes this to be a magic system, believes this to be they've studied it, they've ingrained themselves in it, they've bathed in it. Wealth is their power, and they don't want to rule the world. They just want a percentage. Because past a certain point, I have a certain amount of wealth, which allows me to just passively gain wealth, and wealth is power. So their power is constantly growing. Now, they crash the economy, they crash their power. A good Pacunamancer understands this. A good Pacunamancer keeps a certain amount of balance between their wealth levels and the wealth around them. Not that they're ever going to deliberately make themselves appear to be poor, but they're not going to hoard all of the wealth unless they have lost control of themselves. Real possibility. Just like a magic user, a diabolist, or a necromancer can become so full of what they can do with their power. Death does not concern me. I am the magic of death. I shall transcend death and become living power incarnate. And the theme of the Lich, the Bakunamancer. Oh, you think you have the ability to buy a single thing I want? Oh, no, no. I will have all of the power. I will have all of the cash. I will take my ability to purchase things and I will take yours. And when you have been broken down to a pauper, as has anyone else, when the king looks to me to buy him a crumb of bread, then you will know. You could have a good Bakunamancer. You could have someone who does build the wealth, but uses it benevolently. Well, why did you why did you buy the orphanage and build it up? Why is everything so nice? Why have you put money into people coming to take care of these children? What are you doing? Because it's the right thing to do. I had the cash. There was a need, and I saw to it that the need was addressed. What? And you might not expect the Bakunamancer to do something like that. Often, the Bakunamancer's not going to put their name on that. If they're trying to use that as a little bit of leverage, and I understand you might have some difficulty. I am the person who brought the orphanage back from the brink. You know that, right? You might have that, or the Bakunamancer who doesn't have to do that. The anonymous Bakunamancer who just makes things better around them because they want to be in a better place. It's like, why are there gardens all over the city? Someone made this donation to the city and had them bring in druids to raise these flower beds and trees everywhere. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. But why would someone, well, someone must like nature, or someone must like to have their long walks in the morning punctuated with beauty and the fresh scent of fragrant flowers. The Kunamancer does have a certain amount of selfishness to them, but that can bleed off. They can eventually get to the point where I understand that everyone else is a person just the same way as I am, and everyone else might like this little walk. Maybe I could put some food into some bellies, and maybe I could provide some warm shelter, but I can absolutely see to it that everyone has some pretty flowers and some low-hanging fruit on bountiful trees on the city corners just because they might want a snack. I like those fruits. The family Hofstadter does not engage in benevolent pecunamancy. They are in it to be the power behind the throne. They're in it to wield that kind of power. I imagine if Stefan ever finds himself in a position where he's actually got back to his wealth, he might be a better Bakunamancer if he even engages in that. Not the kind of thing he was going into. He was being groomed for a couple of things by his family, but don't know if he was being groomed to take. Yeah, of course he was. First son, being groomed to take over the family business of family business. Would he have been a good one? Oh yeah, just community minded, wanted to see people brought up. Would he ever fall to the dark side of Bakunamancy? Oh yeah, entirely possible. Once you've had that much wealth in your hand, you have learned a measure about yourself and you live with that temptation every single day. And maybe I will use this right. And maybe I'll use this just this once for a little something I want. Maybe I'll just go buy the most expensive pastry in the city. Maybe I'll buy all the most expensive pastries in the city so that I can be the only person to really understand what that means. That'd make it special, wouldn't it? Then it'd have something that no one else had. And then you're off and running down a bad path. Yeah, I might write this up as a Bard College. Is it super easy to get wealth? Well, no, but you'll have better tools for doing it. And most D&D parties don't think too much about how much money they've got. They adventure, they get treasures, they get paid for stuff. Yeah, okay, and now we've got money, and now we're looking to spend it. Kunamancer makes it a little bit smoother, a little bit easier, a little bit. Why would you not want to make a little bit more money while you're doing this? Oh, You're going to pay us how much to deal with this ghost down the street? I bet you can double that without worrying too much about it, couldn't you? How much is this house worth to you? Well, thank you for following me along with this particular ramble. Straighten myself out, getting some ideas about how this particular school of the magic of money might operate. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, give me a thumbs down. Feedback is feedback. If you've got your own experiences with this kind of conceptual play in your games, or have your own thoughts on how money and the control over it can alter your D&D games, things you'd like to hear me talk about, questions you'd like to hear me answer, leave me a comment down below. I will love getting your comment. You'll love leaving me one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, why not? My channel is awesome. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you do, you might also want to hit the notification bell so you're alerted when my videos become available. If you'd like to contribute to the channel in a more substantial manner, I invite you to hit me up my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/ScottCorum, and consider donating. Absolutely anything helps. It allows me to make better videos more often. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'm Scott Corum. This is What Is Matter to Me. I'll see you next time on the next Matters of Decorum.